Your greetings, my families and friends. You're looking at the Honorable Dr. Walter Rodney. And it is June, and I would like to take the moment right now to pay homage to Dr. Walter Rodney. Many have heard of this name, have seen this man with these glasses, have seen the afro, and have stared into his eyes of hope. And really, many don't know much about Dr. Walter Rodney. So I will be taking a moment here to explore, educate, and relate the historical facts about our great ancestors, Dr. Walter Rodney.
Hello, my name is Ashina and welcome to Deep Roots TV.
Pick up Deep Roots TV. Respect, make sure to tune in the air every time.
Your families and friends, I want to give thanks, give thanks and salutations, I want to bless up everyone that has, tuned in to this special, report. Now, Dr. Walter Rodney was assassinated by the state, the government of Guyana, 13th June in 1980. Ladies and gentlemen, like I said, many have heard of Dr. Walter Rodney, but really don't know who Dr. Walter Rodney is, so I want to educate my nation at this moment. At only 38 years old, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Walter Rodney was killed. He was an international acclaimed author, 6 color books, and numerous academic articles that were documented. Ladies and gentlemen, the world was devastated, when Dr. Walter Rodney had died. Now, these articles and book documents the devastation effects of slavery and colonial imperialism in Africa and the Caribbean. He extended his critical analysis to explain how those effects continue to prevent the progress of new formed neocolonial governments. His frameworks were Marxist. Ideology focused on the working class. He was critical of capitalist government because it promotes individualism instead of corporate communal effort. By combining political economical analysis with archives research, he demonstrates how colonialism resulted in economic inequality and racial ethnic division, and how neocolonialism continued those damaging efforts. Now, Dr. Walter Rodney was born in Georgetown, the capital of then British Guyana. He was an outstanding student. Ladies and gentlemen, outstanding is an understatement, attending the elite Queen's College High School, where he won scholarship to the University of West Indies at Mona, Jamaica. After graduating in 1963, he entered the University of London School of Oriental and African Studies, which awarded him a doctorate of African history in 1966 when he was 24 years old. He revealed and demonstrated, the history of the Upper Guinea Coast in 1547 to 1800. That was one of his books that was published by Oxford University Press in 1970. From 1966 to 1967, he taught at the University of Dar es Salaam in Tanzania and returned to teach at the university from 1969 to 1974. During 68, he taught at the University of West Indies at Mona, where he came to the attention of the Jamaican government security officers from meeting with working class groups, including Rastafarians and anti-government sect. Rodney expanded his friendship to the outside of the university campus. He began criticizing Jamaican middle-class elites and existing government for ignoring its large population of poor, disadvantaged residents. This was labeled as subversive activity, and the government banned his re-entry after attending a book conference in Canada. The decision prompted a riot revealing Rodney's popularity even though he had been in Jamaica for less than a year. His 1969 book, Groundings with My Brothers, included 3 speeches given during those years about decolonization and black power. In 1974, he left his position at the University of Dar es Salaam to accept an offer of professorship at the University of Guyana. However, when he arrived, the offer was withdrawn by the Forbes Burnham People's National Congress, which has been controlled over Guyanese education system. To support his young family, Rodney accepted temporary teaching position in the United States and other countries, and also made time to promote an anti-capitalist social vision of a more equitable and prosperous future for newly independent nations through articles and working on new books. His research in archival materials resulted in a history of Guyanese working people in 1881 to 1905 that would be published by Johns Hopkins Press in Baltimore and London in 1981. The book documented the unfair labor and economic condition commonly experienced by the working people of African descent, Afro-Guyanese, about 40%, and the East Indian descent, Indo-Guyanese, about 50% of the population. His book presented their common labor experience and economical suffer as proof that the ethnic difference exists in Guyana in 1980 should be set aside, and all Guyanese working people need to work together to improve the country's economic and social condition. He joined and became one of the leaders of the new organization named the Working People Alliance that formed in 1974 from several small organizations. Its goal included uniting working people from all ethnic and racial backgrounds in Guyana and obtaining political power by participating in election. It was WPA's increasing success in the uniting citizens from both African and East Indian ethnical background that declared a trouble for the political party in June of 1974 that created that challenge for Burnham-controlled government that he have never faced before. Walter Rodney's most influential book, How Europe Underdeveloped Africa in 1972, provided a new lens to examine the developing of the nation and remain a model of how to analyze capitalistic society and the rise of inequality. His life and writings are well documented. His papers are archived at the University of Atlanta Woodruff Center. There is a Walter Rodney Foundation in Atlanta, and it holds an annual symposium and supports its research. Now, ladies and gentlemen, since the assassination of the great late ancestor Walter Rodney, yes, the co-founder and leader of the Working People Alliance, we have not really picked up the banner and looked at the leadership nor given the accolades that this great man deserved. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it is an unfortunate historical thing that, Walter Rodney seems to have been murdered by the dictatorial government of his own country, Guyana. Now, the Georgetown-based Working People's Alliance has marked a 42th anniversary of the assassination of the co-founder, Dr. Walter Rodney, on Monday with a pledge to help create and organize a national movement to resist dictatorship and create a new political order based off of power sharing. They state such a movement should be a multi-party, multiracial, multi-class. WPA is prepared to help build the movement. Our objective is not just to offer our offending party, but most important, against the offending political order. The WPA said in a statement reflecting on June 13, 1980, bomb blasted that killed Rodney, a noted academic. Rodney was killed after being supplied with a bomb and a walkie-talkie by the Guianan Defense Force electronic expert Sergeant Gregory Smith, who then fled to France, Guyana, until his death of cancer in 2002. Late year, the People Progress Party civic leader administrator armed Rodney's death record to reflect that he was assassinated, that the 1988 inquest into Rodney's death would be inevitably or invalidated because it stated that his death was result of misadventure. The WPA noted that during the period of 1970 and the early 1990s, together with a PPP, they shared the common objective of removing then Forbes Burnham-led People's National Congress government in what had been widely regarded as the first free and fair election in 28 years. The PPP won October 5th, 1992 general election. But the WPA, which has been a junior party in a party of national unity, the APUNU government that lost the 2020 general election, said while electoral democracy is an essential integrity or in building the democracy order, it warned that an anti-democratical movement similar to the Rodney period must not simply exchange one party for another, but we need indeed in 1992, but just strive to erase the conditions under which the dictatorship thrived. The WPA is not surprised that since coming to office in 2020, the PPPA has fast-tracked the government and state in dictatorial direction. The manner in which it comes to office in the wake of the dispute in 2020 election and its agenda of domination, coupled with the willingness to stretch the limits of the majoritarian winner-takes-all system in the context of ethnic division, provides fertile grounds for dictatorship. The willingness of some of the Guyanese elites to succumb to the pressures of political expediency also play a pivotal role in clearing the way for the current dictatorship order, the WPA said in the statement. The WPA, which has since withdrawn from the APNU, said that the ultimate defense against foreign domination and domestic ethno-relationship domination must be through power sharing and shared governance. It remained that the population that Rodney was killed by government and state, and that descended to the lowest depths of dictatorship and autocracy, and urged the population to reflect on whether Guyana has returned to the dictatorial government and the state against which Rodney has fought. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's important that you understand that Dr. Rodney Walters Dr. Walter Rodney was another shining star, glimmering focus, not even ripe as yet or mature, just like a Malcolm X, just like a Martin Luther King. Ladies and gentlemen, many, many times they destroy our young leaders, and these are strategies of these governments that are here. As soon as the melanated nation find a bright shining star, a bright shining sun, they destroy the leadership that we have. So we have none, and a nation without a good leader is left, is strayed, lost, left in the dark. I want to pay my homage to the great nation of Guyana for producing such a leader, Dr. Walter Rodney. I really appreciate the moment and the time that I have to be able to pay homage to the ancestors, ladies and gentlemen. So if you did not know some of these information, leave some comment what you learned. And if you know some more information about the assassination of the great Dr. Walter Rodney, just go ahead and document and go ahead and upgrade the Rastaman knowledge, because we're all here in the Rastaman College. Yeah, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and hit that bell. Become a part of the family. Yeah, more life for the more joy, you know what I'm saying, and the more happiness. You blessed. Thank you for tuning into Deep Roots TV. Hope you had a great lesson. Overstanding.
Hello, my name is Ashina and welcome to Deep Roots TV.
Pick up Deep Roots TV. Respect, make sure to tune in the air every time.